Welcome to Geological Time Travelers. Today, we shatter the myth of the Tyrannosaurus and explore 8 creatures that rivaled its absolute dominance. For decades, people believed this famous predator was the invincible king of the ancient world without any real competitors in the wild. However, modern paleontology paints a completely different picture of the prehistoric ecosystem, filled with equally terrifying and incredibly powerful ancient monster predators. Across various continents and distinct geological periods, several diverse species developed unique evolutionary advantages that made them truly formidable apex survival machines. If we place these massive skeletons side by side, the illusion of absolute supremacy quickly fades into a much more complex reality. The Tyrant lizard king had significant weaknesses, including poor mobility in deep water and a pair of notoriously short and useless arms. This brings us to our first magnificent challenger, lurking deep within the murky swamps of ancient rivers and vast tropical wetland environments. Behold, the mighty Spinosaurus, a colossal beast that completely dominated the aquatic realm long before other predators even dared to swim there. Reaching an astonishing length of 18 meters, this aquatic giant weighed 22 tons, making it the largest carnivorous dinosaur ever discovered. Its long, narrow snout was perfectly adapted for catching slippery prey underwater, giving it a massive advantage over purely land-based hunters. While it was an undisputed master of the rivers, this terrifying creature could also hunt on solid ground when food became scarce. Standing next to each other, the spine lizard easily dwarfs the Tyrant king, proving that size and adaptability are crucial survival factors. Moving away from the dense swamps, we travel south to the harsh, arid plains, where another massive predator ruled with absolute terror. Meet the fearsome Giganotosaurus, the giant southern lizard that possessed physical traits specifically designed to take down the largest terrestrial prey imaginable. This incredible beast was not only taller and longer than our famous Tyrant, but also significantly faster across the open, dusty plains. Reaching an impressive top speed of 50 kilometers per hour, it easily outpaced the 40 kilometer per hour limit of its rival. What made this southern giant truly terrifying was its highly coordinated pack hunting behavior, allowing them to target incredibly massive sauropod dinosaurs. Working together as a lethal and organized team, they could systematically exhaust and bring down prey many times their own combined size. Their teeth were flat and serrated like steak knives, perfectly evolved for slicing through thick flesh rather than crushing solid bone structures. This unique slicing mechanism caused massive blood loss, ensuring the targeted victim would eventually collapse from sheer exhaustion and severe physical trauma. Leaving the sun-baked plains behind, we now enter a dense prehistoric forest where a much smaller but equally deadly assassin waits. Often described as a giant, terrifying turkey, the heavily feathered Utah raptor was a highly intelligent and incredibly agile predator of its time. Do not let the beautiful feathers fool you, because this creature possessed a massive 23-centimeter curved claw on each foot. These enormous sickle-shaped claws were used to viciously pin down and disembowel struggling victims with terrifying precision and absolute brutal efficiency. Though individually smaller than the apex giants, they compensated with exceptional speed, remarkable agility, and highly advanced social pack-hunting communication skills. A coordinated strike from a hungry Utah raptor pack was a swift and inescapable death sentence for almost any herbivore in the region. Their unique combination of lethal weaponry and collective intelligence proved that raw physical size was never the only path to absolute dominance. We must now travel further back into the treacherous canyons of the late Jurassic period to encounter a truly bizarre evolutionary marvel. Known as the strange lizard, the fearsome Allosaurus dominated its environment using a completely different and highly specialized method of brutal attack. This terrifying predator could open its massive jaws extremely wide, allowing it to use its entire upper skull as a devastating weapon. By forcefully swinging its heavy head downward, it literally used its strong skull like a giant biological battle axe against terrified prey. Furthermore, its razor-sharp teeth were constantly growing back, ensuring this relentless hunter never lost its primary instruments of destruction and death. This unique hatchet-style hunting technique made the Allosaurus an incredibly dangerous adversary, capable of inflicting massive structural damage in seconds flat. The powerful neck muscles attached to its skull provided the immense driving force required to execute such a violent and exhausting maneuver. Our journey now takes us to ancient Asia, where we discover a creature that looks like a terrible mistake of natural evolution. The bizarre Therizinosaurus possessed the absolute longest claws in Earth's entire biological history, reaching an unbelievable length of 1 full solid meter. These gigantic, terrifying sides looked like the ultimate predatory weapons, designed to effortlessly slice through the thickest armor of any unfortunate victim. Surprisingly, modern science suggests this intimidating giant was actually a peaceful herbivore, using its massive claws merely to strip tall, leafy branches. However, its incredibly strange appearance and those enormous, terrifying blades were completely enough to make any hungry predator retreat in absolute fear. One powerful defensive swing from those gigantic meter-long scythes could easily disembowel an attacker, instantly neutralizing even the most aggressive threats. This proves that nature often creates the most terrifying visual deterrents for creatures that simply want to eat their plants in peace. Returning to the harsh landscapes of North America, we find a massive apex predator that shared a remarkably similar build to Tyrannosaurus. The mighty Acrocanthosaurus, or the high-spined lizard, was a terrifying brute that dominated the early Cretaceous period with pure physical strength. Unlike the famous Tyrant king, this massive killer possessed incredibly strong and highly functional arms, perfectly designed for capturing and holding prey. When attacking, it would use these powerful muscular forelimbs to firmly grasp its struggling victim and forcefully pull them into its jaws. This lethal combination of strong, gripping arms and crushing jaws made it an exceptionally efficient killer, capable of tackling truly massive herbivores. Its distinctive spinal ridge likely supported heavy back muscles, giving it the necessary explosive power to wrestle giant prey down to earth. For millions of years, this incredibly muscular predator maintained absolute control over its territory, completely unchallenged by any other meat-eating species. But what happens when the prey itself becomes an unstoppable force of nature, capable of crushing the most terrifying predators with ease? Enter the colossal Diplodocus, a gigantic, peaceful plant eater reaching 27 meters in length and possessing a truly devastating hidden weapon. While it had no sharp teeth or terrifying claws, this massive creature utilized its incredibly long 14-meter tail for absolute defense. When threatened by hungry carnivores, this gentle giant could violently whip its massive tail at supersonic speeds, creating deafening sonic boom explosions. The sheer concussive force generated by this biological whip could easily shatter the fragile bones of any predator foolish enough to attack. Even the most aggressive hunters would quickly retreat after experiencing the terrifying acoustic shockwave and bone-crushing impact of this defensive weapon. This incredible evolutionary adaptation allowed these magnificent giants to roam the ancient plains with complete confidence and virtually zero fear of predation. So far, we have only explored the terrifying monsters that ruled the ancient land and dominated the murky depths of prehistoric waters. But if we cast our eyes upward toward the prehistoric clouds, we discover an absolute nightmare that completely conquered the endless skies. Behold, the magnificent Quetzalcoatlus. the absolute largest flying animal in the entire history of our planet, soaring silently above the ancient world. Standing on solid ground, this terrifying winged reptile was incredibly tall, easily matching the impressive height of a fully grown modern giraffe. When it fully extended its magnificent wings, this colossal creature boasted an unbelievable 14-meter wingspan that cast huge, terrifying dark shadows. Despite its massive physical size, its highly specialized, lightweight skeletal structure allowed it to launch into the sky with incredible explosive speed. From high above, it could spot small dinosaurs and effortlessly swoop down to snatch them up with its massive, deadly, pointed beak. This unparalleled aerial superiority made it the undisputed ruler of the prehistoric heavens, untouchable by any terrestrial predator walking the earth below. Looking back at these 8 incredible creatures, we can clearly see how diverse and incredibly dangerous the ancient prehistoric world truly was. The legendary Tyrant lizard was undeniably a powerful and terrifying predator, but it was far from being the only nightmare in existence. Evolution constantly experimented with different forms of absolute dominance, proving that survival required unique adaptations rather than just pure, overwhelming physical size. Some creatures conquered the water by growing massive sails and specialized snouts to effectively catch slippery aquatic prey in deep, murky rivers. Others developed incredible running speed and highly coordinated pack behaviors to systematically exhaust and defeat animals much larger than their own bodies. Many smaller predators utilized advanced intelligence and massive razor-sharp foot claws to become the most efficient and lethal assassins on land. Some hunters transformed their own skeletal structures into brutal biological weapons, using their heavy skulls as devastating hatchets against completely defenseless victims. Even peaceful plant eaters evolved the most terrifying visual deterrents imaginable, proving that the best defense is looking incredibly dangerous to attackers. Certain apex predators maintained their absolute dominance by developing heavily muscled arms designed to forcefully wrestle and crush their struggling, massive prey. Meanwhile, the gentle giants of the plains weaponized their own massive bodies, creating supersonic acoustic shockwaves to quickly intimidate and repel carnivores. Finally, the absolute masters of the sky demonstrated that true supremacy could also be achieved by completely abandoning the dangerous ground below. If we imagine a hypothetical confrontation between the legendary Tyrant King and the massive spine lizard, the outcome remains highly debated today. In deep water, the aquatic master would easily drown its opponent, but on solid ground, the Tyrant possessed a much stronger bite. Against a highly coordinated pack of giant southern lizards, a single solitary Tyrant would quickly find itself overwhelmingly outnumbered and severely outmaneuvered. Even a massive apex predator could easily fall victim to a sudden vicious ambush from a highly intelligent pack of feathered raptors. Modern computer simulations of the strange lizard's Hatchet-Bite reveal that its structural impact force was completely devastating to any biological tissue. The incredible meter-long biological scythes of the bizarre giant herbivore remain completely unmatched by any natural weapon ever discovered on Earth. Studying the muscular attachments of the high-spined lizard proves that powerful grasping arms were incredibly vital for specific ancient hunting strategies. Fossil evidence actually shows healed fractures in many giant sauropod tails, confirming they repeatedly used these massive biological whips in violent combat. The ability of the giant winged reptile to effortlessly cross vast stormy oceans allowed it to spread its massive dominance globally, everywhere. This incredible diversity clearly demonstrates that the prehistoric ecosystem was a highly complex web of specialized survivors rather than a simple monarchy. While popular culture continues to crown the Tyrant lizard as the ultimate invincible king, science reveals a much more fascinating historical reality.